Josh, you mentioned this concept of getting better. No, this is it. Not getting better is not an option. Before we started recording today, uh, and it's something totally unrelated, just like the economy, how businesses are going, what they're willing to spend money on, what they're not willing to spend money on, and this status quo. Like we're tempted to be okay with the status quo in times like this as businesses, and I think as individuals. So I thought that was a great phrase. Can you riff on it for a second to get us started?
Yeah, so I think like the background of it, we were just talking about observing buying patterns with some of our clients at Mission Matters Group or prospective clients at Mission Matters Group. And it's interesting to like see a couple of the opportunities that we didn't get, we lost because they wanted to stay with status quo. And it's not like an ego hit like, oh my gosh, we lost this. It's almost like if it's not us, that's fine. Just go with somebody to make progress on this. Don't accept where you're at right now because you already acknowledged that you're not where you want to be. And that's what I think is like fascinating about this situation because it happens like everywhere in life. Like it's so easy to not make progress on something because there's overwhelm, because there's Netflix, because you got a kid's soccer game to go to, just because you're tired, whatever. And it's a fascinating concept to monitor where it's like, uncertain times are creating uncertainty. So I'm just going to put my head in the sand and not get better. And it kind of blows my mind, but I can relate to it in my own life, which now blows my mind that why am I not making progress in some of these areas? If I'm willing to call it out in an organization who doesn't want to spend $50,000 with us, like that does seem like a barrier. Like status quo doesn't sound too bad when you're like facing a lot of like energy, money, but that's the whole thing. Like I heard this quote, like sometimes we are trying too long, meaning like we don't make progress because we're trying. And like for instance, if I want to run a race, I'm not going to try to run a race. I'm going to train to run a race. I'm going to put a plan together to make progress as opposed to yeah, I'm going to try to do it. And you're just mentally checked out. Like there's an option to not make progress. And so I've been pondering that quite a bit. It's like, okay, how am I establishing my behaviors, my habits, my mindset to achieve something or to make progress on something, as opposed to just saying like, yeah, I'll give it a shot and then leave it at that without a plan.